Chuck Todd is NBC's political director and moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. Good to see you. Let's work backwards and get ourselves up to the State of the Union and talk first about President Trump and what was reported first in the New York Times this week, later confirmed by NBC News, which is that back in June, he ordered the firing of special counsel Robert Mueller, but was stopped by his own White House counsel. You heard him call it fake news. I was surprised I got less pushback from the White House privately than we usually get on some of these stories. What do you think the impact of that news is on the overall investigation into Russia meddling?
Well, look, it's sort of two intriguing aspects to this story. One is, why were the same sources that were denying to us in June and July that the president did order this now say, well, yeah, he did. We stopped him. Why that difference now? Is this a trial balloon? Is this a red flare, a warning sign that he's thinking about it again, right? Like, why now? Why is this in the ether now? Why is this being so easily confirmed out of the White House? I think that in itself is intriguing. What about the Republican reaction? In June, when he was only thinking about it, on Capitol Hill, it was swift with warnings to the president not to do it. This time, it looks a little muted, which tells me, Willie, that this campaign to undermine the investigators that many of the president allies have been conducting over the last few months, maybe it's having an impact on Capitol Hill Republicans.
Yeah, they've been very silent in the last couple of days since that news came out. We'll certainly hear about immigration in the State of the Union. The opening bid, if you want to call it, the White House framework for an immigration deal was put out on Thursday. The president wants $25 billion. He wants for the wall. He wants a change to the visa lottery system. He wants to modify chain migration. This all in exchange for those DACA protections that Democrats want. Is there a deal somewhere? Is there something Democrats could live with in there?
Well, I'm wondering. I mean, it looks like a pretty reasonable opening bid from the White House. And in the old rules of Washington, you could see how a little bit of horse trading here or there should get him there. But I'm wondering if the extreme ways that the political bases now react to legislation makes it impossible to get this kind of compromise. If the base of the Democratic Party just can't, they don't want to, if the changes in the legal immigration system are too much for them, do they walk away and kill this deal? Or what about on the right? Do they walk away? Is there too many people to the president's right, say in the House, who don't like the amnesty portion of this? And what I don't know, Willie, is has our polarized politics changed things that you can't, that what looks like a meeting somewhere in the middle, center left or center right, is impossible to find anymore.
Yeah, Democrats wouldn't give him his wall even at the expense of DACA protections. We'll see if that happens. So that brings us to Tuesday night in the State of the Union. We heard the president in Davos this week sort of touting his first year. America is open for business. You think back to his inaugural address, was very dark, talking about carnage in America. What do you expect to see Tuesday?
I expect him to sell his tax plan a lot, more, and which is, in his mind, I think, the biggest achievement he's got so far. And frankly, it's something he hasn't done a lot of. Look, this is an opportunity. You get anywhere from 30 to 50 million people to tune in, depending on their level of interest on any given year. So this is certainly an opportunity for the president to message. But, Willie, ask yourself, in the era of Trump, does a big speech like the State of the Union have any legs anymore, right? Is it going to have any lasting impact beyond the 12-hour news cycle that we're on these days of stories? You realize it's been less than a week since the government was shut down. Okay, and so ask yourself if this State of the Union is good. Will we even be talking about it on Wednesday afternoon?
Yes, I think the old news cycles, you'll agree, Chuck, do not apply in the last year and a half. Chuck Todd, thanks so much as always. We'll be looking for more on Meet the Press in just a bit when Chuck is joined by House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy and former Defense Secretary Robert Gates. And you can watch the President's State of the Union address Tuesday night right here on NBC.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.